Welcome to Trandy Wisdom, where every story is a living truth that gently awakens the heart. In today's journey, we explore a question that echoes through both ancient wisdom and modern life. How does mindfulness help with happiness? True happiness isn't something we chase. It's something we return to. It lives in a single breath, a quiet moment, a mindful step. Let's come home to the present. Together. 1. Coming home to the present moment. To come home is not a physical act. It is not a return to a house, a place, or a memory. To come home, in the deepest sense, means to return to ourselves, to the sanctuary that is always present within the breath. When we are scattered in every direction, lost in worries about tomorrow or regrets about yesterday, we are like leaves blown by the wind. We suffer because we are not present for our own life. But mindfulness is the gentle hand that gathers us back. It is the breath that says, "Come home, my dear. You have wandered long enough." Mindfulness begins with a simple act. Breathing. Not just any breathing, but breathing with awareness. Breathing in. I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out. I know that I am breathing out. That is all. We do not need to force the breath, change it, or decorate it. We only need to recognize it. In that recognition, something subtle and profound begins to happen. The mind settles, the body relaxes, the spirit returns. The present moment, when touched with mindfulness, becomes sacred. A cup of tea, warm in the hand, is no longer just a cup of tea. It is the universe offering itself to you in this form. The steam that rises, the taste that unfolds, the quiet joy of holding something nourishing. This is not ordinary. This is life itself, unfolding in the now. Often, we believe that happiness lies somewhere far away. We chase after it, always in pursuit. We tell ourselves, "I will be happy when I succeed, when I earn more, when I fall in love, when I am somewhere else." But mindfulness gently reveals that happiness is not a destination. It is a practice of presence. When we stop running, when we breathe and return, we find that the conditions for happiness are already here. In the moment of mindful breathing, we are no longer victims of our thinking. Our thoughts may come and go, like clouds passing across the sky. But we are the sky. We are vast, still, and present. When we identify with every thought that arises, we are tossed about like a small boat on rough waters. But when we dwell in the breath, we are anchored. We learn to observe without clinging, to witness without becoming. This presence is deeply healing. In the modern world, we are bombarded with stimulation, messages, images, noise. The mind becomes cluttered, restless, and tired. We long for peace, but we look for it in distraction. Yet peace cannot be found in distraction. It is only found in attention, and attention is mindfulness. Just by walking in awareness, by washing our hands with awareness, by smiling with awareness, we reconnect with the life that is actually happening. One of the most beautiful aspects of mindfulness is its accessibility. You do not need to climb a mountain or renounce your worldly life. You only need to come back to the moment you are living. If you are walking, walk with your feet, truly kissing the earth. Feel each step. Let the miracle of walking reveal itself to you. You are alive. The earth is firm beneath you. The air is moving through your lungs. The sky is vast above you. Can you feel that? That is happiness. To come home to the present moment is also to touch impermanence. Every breath is a reminder that nothing lasts. This awareness is not a source of sadness, but a source of appreciation. When you know that a flower will wither, you treasure its bloom. When you know that a loved one will not be with you forever, you cherish their presence. Mindfulness makes us deeply appreciative, not because life is perfect, but because it is fleeting, and in its fleeting nature lies its beauty. In a single breath, there is room for gratitude. Gratitude is not only a reaction to receiving something, it is a way of seeing. When we are present, we see clearly all that we have already received: the morning light, the sound of birds, the presence of a friend, the taste of bread. Each of these can be a bell of mindfulness, calling us home. Sometimes people ask, how can I be mindful when I am suffering? And the answer is this: mindfulness does not deny suffering. It is not a shield or an escape. Rather, it is a way to hold suffering gently, with compassion. When you are sad, be present with that sadness. Breathe with it. Acknowledge it like a friend who has come to visit. Ah, hello. My sorrow, I see you. You are here. That is already a transformation. You are no longer drowning in the sorrow. You are embracing it with awareness. Mindfulness gives us the strength to be with what is, even when what is present is not easy. It allows us to say yes to life, even when life is uncertain or painful. This yes is not passive acceptance. It is courageous intimacy. It is the willingness to meet life fully, with an open heart. To come home to the present moment is to let go of striving. We do not practice mindfulness to become someone else or to attain some extraordinary state. We practice to be here, now, and being here is already enough. You do not need to prove your worth. You do not need to fix yourself before you can be happy. In this very moment, or just as you are, you can touch peace. It may seem simple, even too simple, but simplicity is the deepest wisdom. When the mind becomes still, we realize that joy was never far. It was only hidden beneath layers of distraction, like sunlight waiting behind the clouds. Happiness waits for us to become still enough to see. There is a Zen saying, when walking, just walk. When eating, just eat. This is mindfulness. It is not about doing more. It is about being more fully in what we are already doing. Life is not elsewhere. It is here, in this breath, this step, this smile. You may begin your practice right now. Stop reading for a moment. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Know that you are breathing in. Breathe out. Know that you are breathing out. Nothing else is required. That breath is a doorway. It is your return. When we practice coming home to the present moment, day by day, we begin to see that happiness is not something to be achieved, but something to be inhabited. It is not a possession, but a way of being. And mindfulness is the key. Let us not wait. Let us not postpone our peace for another day. Life is calling us softly. With each breath, the present moment is our true home. And in that home, happiness is always waiting, too, touching life with deep awareness and compassion. When we practice mindfulness, we begin to touch life in a new way. Life is no longer something we chase after or try to fix. It is not a project or a problem. It is a presence, a flowing river of sensations, sounds, emotions, and miracles that unfold moment by moment. But to truly see these miracles, we must slow down. We must be willing to stop running and simply look. To look deeply is to live deeply. Most of the time, we are touching only the surface of life. We drink our tea without tasting it, speak without listening, breathe without knowing we are breathing. Our minds are scattered in 1,000 directions, and so we miss the fullness of the moment. But when we return to our breath and settle into the now, our way of seeing transforms. The cup of tea becomes a universe. The sound of the rain becomes a song. The face of a child becomes a miracle. To touch life deeply is to allow the world to enter you not just through thoughts or labels, but through presence. A flower is not just a flower. It is the sunshine, the cloud, the soil, the gardener, the entire cosmos, expressing itself in one form. If we look deeply, we see that nothing exists alone. Everything is made of everything else. This is interbeing. When we truly see a flower, we are also seeing ourselves. And when we see ourselves in the flower, compassion arises naturally. Mindfulness is not simply a tool for calming the mind. It is a way of awakening to the web of life we are woven into. When you wash the dishes in mindfulness, you are not just cleaning plates. You are practicing reverence. You are learning to care for life. When you sweep the floor, you are sweeping your mind. When you cook a meal, you are offering love. Every act, done with awareness, becomes sacred. This sacredness is not found only in temples or mountaintops. It is found in ordinary life. It is found in folding laundry, in brushing your teeth, in walking across a room. When you do these things with full awareness, you are honoring life. You are honoring the preciousness of the present moment. There is nothing more to seek. To touch life deeply also means to touch suffering. We do not run away from pain. We do not cover it up with distraction or blame. Instead, we turn toward it with gentleness. When sorrow arises, we hold it like a mother holding her crying baby. We do not push it away. We listen to it. We ask, "Dear suffering, what are you trying to tell me?" In that listening, something begins to soften. The suffering no longer controls us. It becomes a teacher. Many people believe that happiness means the absence of suffering. But that is not true. Happiness and suffering they depend on each other. Without the mud, there can be no lotus. Without darkness, we cannot recognize light. The practice of mindfulness allows us to hold both joy and sorrow, not as opposites, but as parts of the same deep river. When we touch suffering with awareness, we also touch the capacity to transform it. Compassion is the fruit of this deep touching. It is not pity or sentimentality. It is the deep understanding that we aren't separate from the pain we see in others. Their suffering is our suffering. Their joy is our joy. When we breathe mindfully, we are cultivating the capacity to be present with another person's pain without needing to fix it or run away from it. Sometimes, simply being there with full presence is the greatest gift we can offer. To be compassionate is to see with the eyes of understanding. It is to recognize that behind every act of anger, there is pain. Behind every act of violence, there is confusion. Behind every wall, there is fear. When we see these things clearly, we do not judge. We respond with love. This does not mean we condone harm or accept injustice. It means we act not from hatred, but from wisdom. True compassion is fierce and tender. It protects without attacking. It heals without condemning. When we live mindfully, we begin to see the suffering that is present in the world. We see the loneliness of the person sitting next to us. We see the exhaustion of the mother in the grocery store. We see the fear behind the anger of a stranger. And when we see it, we do not look away. We let our hearts be touched. This is not weakness. This is awakening. We may feel overwhelmed by the suffering we see, but mindfulness teaches us to begin with one breath, one step, one act of kindness. You do not need to solve the whole world. You only need to touch one life, even if that life is your own. When you sit in stillness and offer compassion to your own body, your own mind, you are already making peace in the world. It is important to remember that compassion begins with the self. We cannot truly love others if we are full of harshness toward ourselves. When we make a mistake, we can say, "It's okay. I am learning. I am human." When we are tired, we can say, "Dear body, I see you. Thank you." When we feel pain, we can place a hand on our heart and breathe with it. These small acts of tenderness build the foundation for all other acts of love. Touching life deeply with awareness also means appreciating the impermanent nature of all things. Everything we love will one day pass. This is not a reason for despair. It is a reason to love more fully. When we know that a moment is fleeting, we treasure it. When we know that someone we love is not permanent, we hold them with more care. Impermanence makes each moment precious. Mindfulness helps us remember this truth. Gratitude is the natural result of this kind of awareness. When we touch life deeply, we realize how much we have been given. We stop taking things for granted. We see the miracle of our hands, our breath, our ability to speak and listen. We see that the blue sky is a gift. The presence of a friend is a blessing. And a simple smile is a doorway into joy. We become rich, not in things, but in appreciation. This gratitude is not based on conditions. It is not, I will be grateful if. It is, I am grateful now. Even in difficult times, we can find something to bow to. Even in sorrow, there is beauty. The sun rises each day. Whether we notice it or not, the birds sing, the trees breathe. Life goes on offering itself to us. The question is, are we present to receive it? Mindfulness brings us back to this receiving. It makes us a vessel for the beauty and pain of the world. Held together in one breath, we do not need to run away. We do not need to chase anything. We only need to stop, breathe, and look deeply. When we practice in this way, our lives become a poem, not a poem of words, but a poem of presence. Our steps are verses, our breaths are pauses, our smiles are punctuation, and our hearts are open pages. We no longer live mechanically. We live with intention, with care, with wonder. Let us walk in such a way that every step is a gentle kiss upon the earth. Let us listen in such a way that every word becomes a seed of understanding. Let us live in such a way that our presence becomes a refuge, not only for ourselves, but for all beings. Touching life with deep awareness and compassion is not a distant goal. It is a daily path, a way of being, a return to what is already here. Life is not waiting somewhere else. It is calling us now, in the sound of the wind, in the stillness of the breath, in the beating of the heart. If we are present, we can hear it. 3. Living mindfully, living happily. A daily practice. Happiness is not something we find at the end of a long journey. It is not a reward waiting for us in the future, nor is it a possession we must earn through struggle or ambition. Happiness is the fruit of mindful living, and it blossoms naturally when we learn to dwell fully in each moment. To live mindfully is to live in such a way that each breath, each step, each smile becomes a path to freedom and joy. Many people ask, how can I be happy when my life is so ordinary? And the answer is simple. It is precisely in the ordinary that the extraordinary is found. Happiness is not hidden in rare moments of success or excitement. It is present in the most humble acts, when we open our eyes in the morning, when we sip a cup of tea, when we feel the breeze on our skin. To live mindfully is to recognize these small miracles and allow them to nourish our hearts. Mindfulness is not something we do once and forget. It is not a special activity reserved for the meditation cushion. Mindfulness is a way of being, a continuous returning to the here and now. Each moment becomes an invitation to wake up, washing our hands, brushing our teeth, eating our breakfast. These are not chores. They are sacred rituals when performed in awareness. When we are present, nothing is mundane. One of the simplest and most profound daily practices is mindful walking. With each step, we say silently, I have arrived. I am home. We walk, not to get somewhere, but to enjoy every step. We let our feet kiss the earth. We feel the contact between our body and the ground. We breathe in and know that we are alive. We breathe out and smile. This is not just walking. It is peace in motion. It is a meditation of joy. In the same way, we can transform the act of eating. Instead of rushing through our meals or eating while distracted by screens or worries, we bring our full attention to the food before us. We contemplate its journey, the sun, the rain, the farmer, the cook. We chew slowly, with gratitude. Each bite becomes a communion with life. This simple practice helps us to reconnect with our body, our ancestors, the earth. Eating becomes an act of love when we live mindfully. We also begin to listen deeply. We listen not just to respond or to fix, but to truly understand. Whether we are listening to another person, to a bird, or to our own inner voice, we do so with our full presence. This kind of listening is rare in the world. It is healing. It tells the other, you are seen, you are heard, you are safe. To listen in this way is to offer a sanctuary to others and to ourselves. Mindful living is also about embracing impermanence. We remember that every moment, every person, every experience is fleeting. This is not a source of fear. It is a source of deep appreciation, because we know that nothing lasts forever. We love more deeply. We forgive more easily. We stop postponing our joy. We stop waiting for the perfect time to begin living. We understand that this moment, just as it is enough. Sometimes we think we must change everything to be happy. We believe we need a new job, a different partner, a bigger house. But happiness does not depend on external conditions. It arises from how we relate to those conditions. A person with very little can be deeply joyful if they know how to live mindfully. A person with great wealth may still feel empty if they are not present for their own life. This is why mindfulness is such a powerful practice. It teaches us that we already have what we need to be happy. We only need to wake up to it, to breathe, to smile, to touch the miracle of being alive, to look at the sky and realize we are part of something vast and beautiful. These realizations come not through philosophy, but through experience, through living them. Living mindfully also means being in harmony with others. We practice speaking with kindness, acting with compassion, and understanding that our actions affect the world. We are not separate. Every thought, word, and deed ripples out like a stone dropped in water. When we are mindful, we choose to send out ripples of peace. We become a source of healing in a world that often feels wounded. This is not always easy. There are days when we forget, when we feel overwhelmed or frustrated. Mindful living is not about being perfect. It is about returning over and over again. We come back to our breath. We come back to the present. We forgive ourselves, and we begin anew. Each moment offers the chance to start fresh. This is the beauty of mindfulness. It is always available. Creating space in our daily life for quiet reflection can also support our mindful living. Even just 10 minutes of sitting in silence, watching the breath, can bring great clarity and calm. We don't need a special place, a quiet corner of the room, a park bench, or even a spot beneath a tree will do. What matters is our intention. When we sit quietly, we give ourselves the gift of presence. We touch our true home. Many people think that mindfulness is something they must add to an already busy schedule. But mindfulness is not something extra. It is the way we do what we are already doing. You can be mindful while driving, cooking, talking, even working. It is not the activity, but the awareness we bring to it that makes it sacred. When we remember to breathe, to pause, to smile, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. We also practice looking deeply into our emotions. When joy arises, we recognize it, smile to it, and allow it to blossom. When pain arises, we hold it gently and look into its roots. We ask, what is this trying to teach me? We do not run away from our feelings, nor do we drown in them. We befriend them. We understand them. This understanding leads to transformation, and transformation leads to freedom. One of the greatest joys of mindful living is discovering that we can be a refuge to others. When we live in awareness, we radiate calm. People feel safe in our presence. They feel loved. We do not need to change them. We only need to be fully there. In a world full of noise and haste, your peaceful presence is a rare and precious offering. It says, "You are not alone. Peace is possible." Let us remember that each day is a gift. Each morning, when we open our eyes, we can smile and say, "I am alive. I have 24 brand new hours before me." This is not a small thing. This is a miracle. With this awareness, we walk through the day with tenderness. We take care of our steps, our speech, our thoughts. We live as if each moment matters, because it does. As we cultivate this daily practice, happiness becomes less about what happens and more about how we are with what happens. We learn to touch joy in washing the dishes, in watching the clouds, in holding a loved one's hand. We stop striving to escape our lives and instead enter them fully. We discover that the life we were searching for has been here all along. To live mindfully is to remember who we are, not our roles, not our achievements, but our true nature, spacious, loving, interconnected. From this place, happiness arises like a lotus from the mud, not separate from difficulty, but shining through it. Mindfulness is not a destination. It is not something we will arrive at someday. It is a path we walk with every breath, a way of living that brings us home. Again and again, we return to the breath, to the body, to the moment, and in this returning, we are renewed. May you walk gently upon this path. May each breath remind you that you are alive. May your days be filled with small joys and quiet awakenings, and may your presence be a light to those around you. Happiness is here, now, waiting for your attention. Let us live with that knowing. Thank you for joining us on this mindful journey with Trandy Wisdom, where every story is a living truth. If today's reflection on mindfulness and happiness has touched something within you, take a moment to breathe, to smile, and to remember, happiness is not far away. It is here, in your breath, in your awareness, in your gentle presence. If you found peace or insight in this video, we invite you to support our journey. Like the video if it brought you clarity. Subscribe to Trandy Wisdom for more mindful stories and reflections, and share this with someone who may need a moment of stillness today. May you walk gently, may you breathe deeply, and may you live each day with mindful joy. See you in the next story.